The relationship between Kuihman, infamous Destiny anti-fan that Steven really wants dead, okay, and LonerBox, okay, girls man, has deteriorated over the past few months. One of the things that I'm looking for the most is the complete disintegration of their relationship. I think it's unhinged that since they have a bridge, Kuihman has essentially been targeting LonerBox nonstop. I think this is ultimately building up to something. And I hope that the relationship makes no sense. That's what I'm saying, okay? Like the only reason why, like, I might find this to be the case, maybe, is like one person has dirt on the other person, and maybe that's why they don't want to sever the bridge. But I don't know, it's such a weird relationship in the first place. I, for one, can't imagine anybody having this relationship. What good has Loner seen in Kuihman in the past? He has said that Kuihman is a good listener, and he actually wants to learn about the issue, and he has also said that Kuihman is funny. These are the two. Oh, and he said that Kuihman is good at covering the Destiny Pixie drama. Look, I would say I strongly disagree with two of them, okay?
Vacuous point to make, seriously. What the fuck stupid vacuous point to make? Obviously what I'm saying is there is no reasonable evidence.
US and Israel were inciting, in part.
Evidence that would reasonably lead you to the conclusion that it's going to be better for Iran, or it's likely to be better for Iran. But that's a likely outcome. That's a plausible outcome. You know, it may be logically possible, but I don't see it as particularly plausible. Okay, to borrow from Pisco. Yeah, I just thought that's totally reasonable.
Kuihman does seem smart, as in like sharp. Yeah, like I'll say he's funny and smart, but like he's bad faith, right?
And LonerBox like, oh, you really think there's no world where it could possibly... No, I say there could possibly. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think you sound like a sitting there going, oh, well, maybe there's one world where this would actually turn out great. Here's how Bernie can still win.
The regime is already insane.
It's like you always sound doing this stuff. Make your analysis based on what is reasonable, likely, plausible. Not what's possible. Not what you think might be possible. It's like the same stupid shit that YouTube idiot versions doing on Jstlk stream the other night. Going like, oh yeah, but don't you
Why? What the fuck?
think it's possible that Razor Polarity could just like walk in and take over?
Do I even need Jstlk's commentary in this one? He's not even contributing anything. This entire thing is just Kuihman reacting to LonerBox. But like, why? Dude, just please contribute something meaningful in your life for once, okay? Like, you are not contributing, like, even a single piece of commentary, okay? At least I'm giving commentary on the relationship between Kuihman and LonerBox, okay? You're giving poop, doo-doo water, okay?
Popular. They can resolve something better. That's obviously unstable now because there's still a war going on.
Like,
I think even in the show,
why are you even here?
Like, I'm even saying here, the
Go
way
away.
it is that the IRGC youth takes over, and they are worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, LonerBox, you cut off the start of the segment, so you actually don't know what I'm saying here. So that's unfortunately, LonerBox.
That's probably the most likely outcome. I have no idea what is happening with how many defectors they think they have or what the regular army is going to do. But to suggest that, like,
very bad faith critique from LonerBox. I'm still willing to talk to him though.
Can only get worse. I don't know what.
You're a total pervert if you say this bad faith shit, by the way. Literally, we're just shaming people for this now. You're literally a fucking pervert if you say this shit.
Particular he's saying on that makes him so sure of that.
Who were we watching yesterday who said, oh, Connor said this, okay? Connor said this. W counterpoints. Saying the words bad faith is just it's a, like, what do you call it? Like a flare, okay? A signaling flare to other people that you're a and you support them in your work, okay? You are trying to signal out. You're sending up a signal flare to other okay?
What?
That, no, I don't think he ripped this.
Imagine taking any of these guys seriously, okay? The fact that they, dude, like, calling everything a fucking PDF file is nuts like this. Like, why would you ever watch these guys unironically? Like, I don't even care if it's a joke. I don't even care if it's, like, not a joke. I don't care either way, okay? Like, this, either you have a really, really shitty sense of humor, okay? Either you, yes, if Connor is saying this, yes, he also has a shitty sense of humor, okay? If, like, this is either a shitty sense of humor or shitty allegations. Either way, pick your poison, right?
Signal flare thing. The thing is just something people have been saying for a long time. But the signal flare thing, I think, was uniquely Connor, no?
That, but okay.
They have encouraged it. They have led the Iranian people up to the precipice and then allowed tens of thousands of them to be slaughtered at the hands of the Islamic regime. And then
remember, the protesters were already out en masse before Trump said help is on the way. Help is on the Trump thing was disgusting. We talked about that a billion times, but
I'm not saying the whole protest was Trump or the whole protest was Mossad. I'm saying that when you encourage and incite, you incur some responsibility.
Your debate PDF?
It's disgusting that you then go and leave those people to die.
Out on
sounds like LonerBox agrees.
Mass. They were still out en masse. There was still going to be that crackdown.
Responding to a clip chimp, awful stuff. Well, he's not responding to a clip chimp. What's actually happened is he's been seething over this VOD offline, who's pre-watched it and hasn't found the start again because he was midway through it. And that's why he's covering it on stream. Because much like his Discord Splinter service, he just can't stop thinking about it.
Fuck.
Look at that. They have
Hopefully, because LonerBox has been hanging around a lot of Israelis. We don't know for sure. Maybe they're all Arab Israelis, but hopefully he's become, more accustomed to explicit and obvious ham-fisted mind tricks, okay? He literally
Like, they're okay, guys. So for the record, they have been complaining about LonerBox not attacking on the substance of the issue. At least Kuihman is, okay? Jstlk, I don't fucking know. He's barely memorable in this one. But at least, dude, they've been complaining that LonerBox he's not, there's no substance. They're basically saying there's no substance. But then, on the other hand, these anti-fans are also the ones making the personal attacks, right? Saying, oh, LonerBox is just influenced by his Israeli Jewish crowd, right? Oh, LonerBox is just, he has Jewish influence, okay? His curly hair, that must be it, okay? He has Jewish influence. Like, do you hear yourself speak? Of course LonerBox doesn't want to talk to you guys. Why the fuck would he? You guys sound deranged, right? You guys sound deranged. Come on now, be reasonable. Lay down for a bit if you're tired.
really just said that so that you will cover it, okay? He's just trying to make it so that you can't not cover it, all right? Now, that is just a very, very maneuver from Kuihman that you need to identify immediately and put out of your mind, okay? Don't take that seriously.
Legally bombed all of their
Don't
leaders
take it seriously.
with no plan for a replacement, leaving the country destabilized and rudderless, lashing out at other countries around them, drawing attention, drawing aggro.
Is he blaming the Israel and the US for the regime killing their own? I mean, if I was being bad faith, or if I was jumping to conclusions, or
Well, it's clearly not.
if I was trying to avoid looking for a better explanation, it would sound like that, but I don't know.
It's already worse. It's already worse.
I don't know why saying it's already worse. What, because they murdered maybe upwards of 10,000 of their own people? I don't know why that's saying that's, because that's not, like, Trump takes responsibility for emboldening protesters who were already on the street. I don't know how Trump takes responsibility for the regime killing them, or for the protesters starting in the first place.
So you don't take responsibility for the regime killing them, nor do you take responsibility for them starting. You take responsibility for your actions, which is encouraging them and promising help, and then not delivering when they get killed. That's what they have responsibility for. Hope that helps. I understand what it looks like. I guess he's had a severe head injury recently, struggling with this one. But yeah, you have responsibility for your actions.
This guy is so lazy. He's just recycling the kicked in the head by a horse talking point. This is so lazy, man.
I don't
know how.
This guy's
Where is your commentary, Jstlk? Like, you're worthless. You're actually just worthless. Oh my god.
recycling.
Okay.
He's just reusing an old script now. Okay, he's got no time to stream anymore. He's just reusing an old script.
Kui cries for a week every time he gets mentioned on Loner stream. Well, this is why they barely cover me anymore. Like, they'll cover me, okay, occasionally, okay, but they no longer cover me as a big thing because they have, like, very fragile egos, okay? It's actually easy to defeat these guys, all right? It's actually really easy to defeat the anti-fans. The secret weapon is to cover them back, okay? You need to also make fun of them back, all right? The more you try to shy away from them, the more they will take advantage and sense that as a weakness, okay? Which is why, like, they are so keen and so, that's why they're so keen to snark on people who are aware of them, but don't make any content on them, because they sense that as reluctance and weakness because they're being dogpiled, okay? So they shy away. But you can't let them know that you're weak. You have to be willing to attack them back, all right? So, I've thought of commissioning a Foodshop Wiggler. I'm on board for that, okay? Let me know if you do. But, like, for the AFK, right? For the AFK screen, or when my internet's down, I don't know. But yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. It's just so stupid. What am I even supposed to say here?
That works.
Already gotten tens of thousands of people.
But I kind of wish that people knew how to deal with these people. Like, these people are heinous until you figure out how to deal with them. And they're kind of wusses. Like, they're kind of pussies, you know what I mean?
Killed. If you were going to do this, act with a plan, decisively, and help the Iranian people.
Isn't that my position that I articulate in this?
What they have done is... No, LonerBox actually barely articulates a position at all. He sits there desperately trying not to offend Ethan Klein for the entire time. Like, every time he goes on there to tap dance like a fucking house, you know. You actually didn't lay out much of a fucking opinion at all, LonerBox.
A house
you
ninja?
never do on that show.
Nice. Good one.
Sold them out. They have just sold them out. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious to anyone.
I think my curse is watching this, which I'm glad I'm on Kick, okay? It takes days for my shit to get anywhere. Unless Substance is clipping it, and Substance is not going to clip me being too overt about things, okay? But I just said the reason LonerBox does that is because he doesn't want to step on Ethan Klein's toes. Like, LonerBox is trying not to present anything, like, too strong when he goes on that show, because he knows Ethan is, like, a sensitive baby, and he knows if he makes Ethan get upset about him, right? Like, if he says something that Ethan's going to disagree with, Ethan's probably not letting that go, and he's probably going to have a hard time, like, navigating that argument.
Wait, what? No. You really think that LonerBox isn't going to speak his mind if he disagrees with Ethan Klein? Really? Do you even believe that? I don't even think Jstlk believes in this. I refuse to believe Jstlk believes in this. This feels like a lie. LonerBox has no prior history of catering his language when he's with Ethan Klein, but saying something much stronger on his stream, like something that is very, like, that has very big discrepancy. I've never seen that before. But do you know where I have seen that? Hassan, right? Like Hassan, I would argue, has like a massive discrepancy between the way that he presents on other platforms versus how he presents on his own stream. But Hassan is somebody that the anti-fans actually defend. So it's kind of weird that they would hold, it's kind of weird to me that they would hold LonerBox to a standard that they don't hold Hassan. That to me is hypocrisy. But
because Ethan is, again, a sensitive, spineless baby, okay? It's just going to be tough, all right?
Also, not only that, the times in which LonerBox have said new information or said like challenging information, Ethan Klein and his team have time and time again been receptive to what he has said. Even on the first appearance, Ethan Klein and his team have been receptive to what LonerBox says. All right, so that's not even true either. Okay, just for the record, the very first appearance on Ethan Klein's show, okay, was LonerBox talking about the Israel-Palestine situation and him basically low-key defending Israel. Okay, he was defending Israel during that period, and then Ethan Klein's producers, Ethan Klein's team, pushed back hard. They went like, okay, but don't you think that there's something monstrous going on, whatever? And he has held his ground. To me, at the very least, this is I don't see any compromise there. I don't see any compromise. Jstlk is asking for Loner to be ignorant and confident. I think Jstlk is also afraid of Loner. Because if Loner ever averts his gaze and gazes upon Jstlk knows he doesn't have a chance. Okay? Not only does he have a smaller audience, but his points just straight up do not make any sense. Okay? Also, he's spiteful because LonerBox wouldn't pay attention to him. All right? Like, LonerBox will pay attention to... Which is another point that I don't get between the relationship between Kuihman and LonerBox. LonerBox will pay attention to Kuihman, but LonerBox will not pay attention to Jstlk, even though like they're pretty much one and the same at this point. So yeah, another fucking weird relationship shit that, you know, I'm just gonna pretend isn't a thing. Okay, it's
eyes. But so regardless, anyway, it's not even just about the plan. It's not even just about the plan. I'm saying,
Shumsky, I don't look at that Twitter. I assume it's like flagged. My NSFW stuff's off on stream by default. So
there, if you wanted to do this successfully, right? That's what I'm saying there, right? I'm not saying this would be justified just with that, because this is what my concern is that LonerBox's position, and this is like the good faith version, the ultra good faith version of the thing he's going to call bad faith in a bit, okay, at the end of the segment.
And Kuihman wonders why people won't talk to him. What do you mean, Drama 101?
No one needs H3's audience to make bank at this space. Loner isn't worried about that at all, 100%. Yeah, and chances are, if you appear on Ethan's stream anyway, chances are you already made it as a content creator. You don't really need to grift that hard, right? You don't need to, like, hardcore grift that hard. Like, again, chances are, if you're a successful content creator, you're going to have more of a likelihood on making it onto Ethan Klein's live stream, okay? That in of itself is already a bonus, okay? You don't need, it's not like he brings on new content creators, so then all the new content creators are fighting for survival. I would say that Destiny is a much better example of someone that newer content creators might try to aim for because he is more, like, generous with, like, newer content creators. But H3 people, like H3, they typically only bring on content creators that are already renowned or royalty. Yeah.
I don't think Kuihman's confused why being like caustic makes people not want to talk to him. I think he's of the opinion that they exist in a space where if there are good critiques being made, they'll engage anyway, even if somebody's being an ass about it.
I don't know. I think Loner could use some channel growth. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to say because sometimes the channel growth thing, you can try as hard as you could and you don't know like the next strategy to do in order to grow your channel, and then you're just lost. I'm currently in this state where I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna do the same thing that I've always done, and then, you know, hopefully everything works out. But like, yeah, no, I mean, content creation is hard. Like I said before, I wouldn't recommend anybody go into content creation. It's a hard thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. So, you know, my condolences.
Entire premise of like all of Twitch politics around Destiny, right? Was explicitly he was a caustic, like unbearable douchebag to everybody, and they still engaged. The Queen probably just wonders why the rules are different here, right? I'm guessing. But Drama 101, if you have a different reason why you think people don't talk to Kuihman other than their feelings get hurt, love to hear it.
I think at the end of the segment, the idea that if it was Trump and Hegseth,
Calling LonerBox a house and is good faith. Yes. It's literally good faith. By definition, yes. Do you think Kuihman believes that LonerBox
Dude, I can't. Okay, is that being sarcastic?
is a house and I know he does because he's referred to him that way in private. This is not new. This is not a revelation to me. It's definitionally not bad faith. He's saying what he believes.
Jesus Christ.
if it wasn't Trump and Hegseth doing it, he would support it. And my concern, my worry, the thing I'm really condemning from LonerBox here, is the idea that he would support Dems doing roughly this, as long as it was done well. I wouldn't support that, because they have not exhausted the available international...
Which, by the way, I disagree with that characterization. I don't say that, right? I disagree with Kuihman in private, too. But I'm not calling that bad faith. You are doing the...
Bro, are they sleep buddies? I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, are they sleep buddies? I don't know
right now, right? You're calling it bad faith instead of just saying it's a mean thing to say. I don't like that you said that. That's really mean, is what you mean to say.
I'm very sussed out about their relationship now, okay?
Not bad faith at all.
International options. They have not been through the Security Council. There's been no statements on stopping the violence, on protecting protesters or anything from the UN Security Council.
Oh,
It hasn't gone to Congress. There's just not been any effort to justify it whatsoever. And my concern is, based on things I've heard LonerBox say and defend in the past, is that he basically just thinks it's fine to just go around doing these decapitation strikes without really putting it to...
Oh, yippee time.
He seems to support in Doha.
Oh, boy.
Just goes on H3 and says, no, this isn't like failures, and it could still be good.
Potentially is the Ayatollah is gone, but then there's the youth of the IRGC who are easily the most indoctrinated, most radicalized faction of the entire Islamic Republic. They're the youngest generation, and they're more radical and more hardline than the first Ayatollah, than the second, than anything. And that's actually partly why they've managed to. It was quite easy for them to crack down on protesters, because these young security officers are just very, very willing to do whatever it takes to keep the regime in power. There is a chance that they survive the airstrikes to a degree that they can establish some kind of military dictatorship.
There's a chance that they survive. There's a chance. There's like 100,000 people in the IRGC. If he starts talking about the besieged, I think there's still thousands of people in the besieged. Bro, you can't airstrike every military officer in a country that big. It's too expensive. You can't do it.
Over Iran, which is worse than what we currently have. But it could also go particularly well, right? You could have defectors from the army.
So literally...
Yeah, this is horrible analysis. I'm sorry, it's horrible analysis. I think this is... I don't know. I never would have said these things, right? That there's a chance.
Wait, what's horrible analysis? Sorry.
Easy for them to crack down on protesters, because these young security officers are just very, very willing to do whatever it takes to keep the regime in power. There is a chance that they survive the airstrikes to a degree that they can establish some kind of military dictatorship.
There's a chance that they survive. There's a chance. There's like 100,000 people in the IRGC. If he starts talking about the besieged, I think there's still thousands of people in the besieged. Bro, you can't airstrike every military officer in a...
I don't think LonerBox believes that, you fucking dipshit. And you say that you're not bad faith. What the fuck? You think that LonerBox genuinely believes that you can military strike every single fucking Ayatollah, like, Iranian fuck? Like, what the fuck?
Country that big.
I like how they're both Iran experts now. It happens every time. Every single time something new goes down, it's like, oh, I'm automatically a fucking geopolitics expert. At least I recognize when I'm out of my depth, right? You guys know me, okay? You guys know me. You guys know that I don't pretend to be in depth about things, right? You guys know already that I'm not someone who will, like, fucking be a poser, all right? And talk about how smart and awesome I am about, like, insert subject here, right? But these motherfuckers would just, like, go out and just say shit for free. Like, it's diabolical. It's heinous. It's unacceptable.
It's too expensive. You can't do it.
Like,
over
what?
Iran, which is worse than what we currently have. But it could also go particularly well, right? You could have defectors from the army.
So literally...
Yeah, this is horrible analysis. I'm sorry, it's horrible analysis.
When we're just talking about the consequences, yeah, sure. But in the beginning, and, you know, it doesn't even matter at that point, because it's like, I really don't think Loner ever talked about anything like that. Like, what? Okay. And also, how do you know whether or not something is, like, expensive or not? It could be the case that the bombings are cheap, right? You never know. I mean, chances are it's extremely expensive. But have you done the research into that? Shouldn't you make sure anyway? Before saying something like that? God, these people are, like, politically bankrupt. These people are politically bankrupt, okay? These people are politically bankrupt, okay? These people are totally unserious people, okay? Totally politically bankrupt, totally compromised by their views on Destiny and Ethan Klein, totally and utterly cucked, okay? These people are the most compromised individuals in this entire space, okay? I have never seen anybody so cucked, so shameless when it comes to their positions. Never. It's actually nuts how, like, cucked they are, okay? And they say Steven is cucked. They say Steven is cucked. The irony, the absolute irony of being sloppy seconds to take when it comes to fucking Cherry, okay, Mr. Cucked. You wait until Steven is done with Cherry before you get on her, all right? And they have the gall to call other people. Oh my, bro, I can't. That's insane. Anyway.
And I think this is, I don't know, I never would have said these things, right? That there's a chance it could work out. It can't. It logistically cannot. 100,000 plus for the besiege? Oh, 600,000 reservists. Oh, so yeah, just no chance at all. To make this work, to actually affect regime change, you would have to do boots on the ground. You have to. Right? So it is bad analysis. Now, I think LonerBox would probably just concede that it's really bad analysis to present those as equal possibilities. Well, one out of a million. One of a million.
That's really stupid.
It either happens or it doesn't. We call that a 50-50 chance. All right, let's go.
Like, he was like, oh, no,
why are these guys just saying shit? They're not even bringing up any sources. They're not bringing up like where they're getting this information. Well, they're just pulling shit out of their ass. And for what? Like, they're saying all this shit for free. They're saying this shit for free. Yeah. Oh yeah. The grape list. Oh my god, Jstlk. The grape list. Anybody Destiny fucked before. Thank you, Jstlk. Hell yeah.
How it's going to be worse. It's like, it could also be better. It could also...
You know, it's after Destiny fucks them in his mind, right? In his mind, they're like, now they're ripe.
Better. Yeah, there's like no reason to think that's the case though.
It needs to ripen first, okay?
The besiege, like the security forces, you could have protesters who are able to overwhelm. I do wonder, actually, is he trying to say that the protests were inspired just because of the 12-day war, because that exposed the regime and showed their weaknesses? That's what he said earlier, right? That doesn't even make as much sense either, though. Because
No. I think that played into it. I think it'd be crazy that didn't play into it. But obviously, it's not just because of the fucking 12-day war or just because of Trump. But all these things, all these are factors. No, is that crazy to say? I think that's totally reasonable. Obviously, yeah, the strikes last year. Was it last year or was it? When was it? I don't even know. It wasn't last year, was it? No, it was earlier this year. Dude, I'm losing track of time. Or was it last year? 11 months ago. Jesus. 6 months ago? I've lost track of time, dude. I've lost track of time. Anyway, yeah, I think obviously that played a role. I do think that played a role. I do think making the regime look weak is going to make the oppositional population more likely to rise up. I don't think that's controversial. I think it's crazy.
It's like, why are you giving them this information?
The economic crisis happening in Iran is large.
It's still, they're unarmed. It's a disarmed nation. That has to factor into your analysis. There is no way you actually weaken this regime enough, right? Unless you had significant splintering in the regime. But again, there is no indication whatsoever that these people are not zealots. It is a theocracy. They do believe. There is a lot of sincere belief in the country.
Wait, what?
Right? And I don't know how to tell people this, but even if it's, 3-1 in terms of people who are down with the regime versus people who oppose the regime, if the people who are down with the regime in a country of 90 million people or whatever it is, I think it's about 90, if 3-1 you're outnumbered by people with guns, you're f***ed. It's over, okay?
Largely being attributed there to the snapback sanctions. But the snapback sanctions were...
What?
Well, yeah. And the sanctions have created conditions that are like unlivable, well, not like...
Tell me you're pulling something out of your ass without telling me that you're actually pulling something out of your ass.
Yeah, I mean, like pretty bad conditions for the average person. That makes them more discontent with the government as well. There's a lot of reasons, I'm sure. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of factors here. But I'm making the statement. I'm not making the statement that any of these are determinative. I am saying that Trump holds responsibility, and the US and Israel and the Shah hold responsibility for egging those protesters on with the promise of help and not delivering. That played into them getting killed. If they had helped, they may not have been killed. Now, even though I don't know that help at that point would have been justified, but hey...
yeah, this is another good point, not accounting for when Israel decided to bomb all of those tankers in the middle of Tehran and make it rain oil, probably causing like 100 different types of cancer for that entire population, right? Before that, maybe they had a chance. I don't know what they're doing now.
That would have been better.
Seemingly going to get imposed one way or the other, because they weren't imposed by America.
Wait, hold on. Is it my imagination, or did Jstlk say that just because they are just because they are a religious government does not mean that they are zealots? Did I hear like Jstlk just say that? You guys have to check me, okay? You guys have to, bro. There ain't no way like Jstlk said that.
Snapbacks came from the European powers, because the European powers, France, Germany, the UK, they were still part of the JCPOA. And when it became very clear that the IAEA was seeing very...
Because honestly, I wasn't even sure if whether or not he said that. I'm like running it through my mind. I'm like, did he really just say that?
Very behavior from Iran with the 60% nuclear enrichment. When they were seeing that, they instigated the snapback sanctions because they were about to expire anyway. So they stopped. The JCPOA still did exist. It's just that America wasn't part of it anymore. So I don't know if we're going to blame them for it. Are we going to blame our own country and France and Germany? Because those were the new sanctions that came in between the 12
Why are they even doing commentary on this when both the British Manly and the 1-ton Canuck don't give a single fuck about Iran? Well, they don't give a fuck about Iran because they actually give a fuck about, like, Ethan Klein and Destiny. That's the only thing they give a fuck about. So they have to take the opposite opinion on everything. Like, they have to take the opposite opinion on everything, okay? Like, they are literally, like, they're compelled, okay? They're compelled by God, all right? It is their holy mandate. It's their holy mandate to be forever cucked on Destiny.
Oh, that blame.
Okay?
Like, what is this fucking retard saying? Does he think I'm like...
I mean, if the theocrats are cynical hypocrites, then they could be realists in private and zealots only for PR. But the same people who are like funding like campaigns against Israel and spending money to fund Hamas and other fucking terrorists, like on Yemen and spreading terror and stuff, like, yeah, they seem to be very, very ideologically driven. If you want Israel decimated and you're Iran and you had the Islamic Revolution and you beat women to death for not wearing their clothing, like, yeah, like their religious garb, then yeah, chances are I'm going to call you a zealot, right? Like, this seems like ultimately a very silly thing to like say. Like, he doesn't even know anything he's talking about. He's so stupid, dude. Oh my God.
Bigging up the Iranian regime? Does he think I'm like pro IRGC or something? What do you think's going on here? Do you think I'm saying, oh, the Iranian people would love the Ayatollah if it weren't for these Western powers putting sanctions and making them, manipulating them against Islam? You think that's what I'm saying?
Pretty sure he did call them zealots? Oh, okay, never mind then. Because I wasn't sure whether or not he called them zealots. Zealots. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he called them zealots. Like, I thought he didn't say that. I was like, okay. For the record, okay, I don't think you need to give a fuck about something to commentate on it. But it's just that... But we all know where it's coming from, right? Zealot.
Saying LonerBox, some kind of
zealot.
warrant today. Are we going to blame them for destabilizing Iran? And I don't know if he suggested that they should have maybe got involved when the protesters were actually out there in full and before.
Would have been better if it was possible, but wasn't possible.
The firing happened. But then the issue there is they didn't have the means. You know how Trump had to, like, how America was deploying all of that shit over to the Middle East in the past few weeks before the strike. So you can say
no, my position is not that they
Drama 101. If you want to come on the Discord and talk about it, we could totally talk about it. Seems like you're asking some questions as if you're like trying to nibble at the edges. I would love for you to just come to the Discord and say why you think this is wrong or what you think's going on that's incorrect.
should have done it then. They shouldn't have done it at all. They should have gone through the proper channels. They should have made attempts to through the UN Security Council, should have gone through Congress. But it would have been better to act earlier. It would have been better. And if you can't act, then don't say you will.
Missed opportunity.
Like this is, I feel like none of this is remotely controversial. No?
Honestly, this stuff is not even really, like, it should get back to basically the idea. I think the criticism from Kuihman should just stick to the same thing. Why are you on Ethan Klein's show pretending that this is possible? Pretending that this could possibly work, right? Like, that's all this comes down to, right? Why are you on Ethan Klein's show for this big network opportunity? Sort of like giving credence to the idea that the Iranians might be able to rise up, that this might work out well, and saying it's like equally likely to it failing. That's really where you should really
come into Discord and V about it, fully chat into joining the VC. Oh, yeah, I mean, they could do that anytime. Anytime, like, these days, if anybody says, like, oh my god, can I insert opinion disagree with you, I typically say, yeah, come in VC, okay? Because I don't want to argue with somebody from chat. I'm not about to sit here and wait for someone to type out their opinions in chat. Like, I'm too, like, I don't have time for that, okay? Either we're getting to VC or we're not, or you need to shut up, okay? Or I'm going to ban you, yeah. I don't have time to get one guy.
That's really where you should center the criticism, not really necessarily pick it.
Stop, too loud.
As annoying as it is that LonerBox is making it about something else.
You can't stop. If you do not have the military hardware in position to stop the regime from killing the protesters, then do not make tweets and speeches where you say, if you kill the protesters, I'm going to use military hardware to stop you. If you can't do that for another month. Like, again, there's so many aspects here where it's just totally wrong. It's totally wrong. It's totally morally repugnant. It's like, what can you do? What can you do? Are you really saying that?
Why more like, why are you on Ethan Klein's show? Yeah, that's such a stupid fucking thing. Again, okay, these anti-fans, like, people from this ecosystem and people who are in this position, they hate it. They hate it whenever people leave the community or they realize it's like the entire anti-fan community operates like a BBD chick, okay? I just realized it. Guys, I understand now. The entire anti-fan community operates like a BBD chick, okay? Lyrics leaves them. Sorry, like this like group of people. Lyrics leaves them, what happens? Okay? Sorry, not lyrics. Fuck. No, this part of the commentary community acts like a BBD chick, okay? They just can't handle anybody not needing them anymore or anybody not paying attention to them. They can't handle it. They literally cannot. Oh my god, they're all just BBD
We
chicks.
shouldn't do this. Yeah, I am actually. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they shouldn't do it.
It makes sense.
It's quite questionable how much they could have done to help at that time as
Holy
well. Which is
moly.
why Trump tweeting that thing out was so negligent and so
Okay, I
disgusting.
guess he's just saying he agrees with me. Yes,
Yeah.
it's disgusting. Yes,
That's why
what
we
I'm
should
saying.
move on.
They were saying
Thank
help
you.
was on the way. When it turned out the only help he was referring to was some people were against Starlink. That's nothing to be done. And you actually have Reza Pahlavi coming in this plan working. It's a very weekend, and you can actually have Reza Pahlavi coming in this plan working. It's a very, if it were any other
This is who, when I asked people, when I heard people talking about Reza Pahlavi, I kept asking, point me to the that's talking about this. Point me to the and no.
Lyrics escaped the child plantation. If Lyrics really have moved on to an entirely different career in streaming still, but a new field of streaming, I think good for him. Do you know why? Because you're successful. Not everybody is able to make it like that, right? Not everybody is able to just simply move from like drama to reviewing music. That's a very, very difficult thing to do. If he manages to do something like that, you should be happy for him. But instead, what they do is that they shame him, ostracize him, they hate him only for that reason. No other reason but that reason. It's only that reason. That to me, if anything screams BBD chick as a community, that screams to me BBD chick, okay? They can't stand it. They can't stand it when their ex finds somebody new, okay? So instead, they threaten everybody, okay? They can't stand it.
Woody pointed me over here, which is unfortunate. Although I truly think that LonerBox is, if I remember correctly, didn't Ethan bring up Pahlavi? I don't know if LonerBox is like sincerely really believes that, but then the criticism would be, why are you saying if you don't believe it?
the president, I would completely support it because
Saying Hasbro is not anti-Semitic, but it is, you know, it's basically the same as Takia. You know, there's a lot of just that are just saying it to mean you're lying. It's like, why you?
They attacked him in the most unhinged way possible. Chud acted like he got cheated on. Yeah, like God forbid a man take care of themselves. Like literally Lyrics was putting on like some makeup and dyeing his hair and putting on some eyeliner, and he has like a girlfriend visiting him in the background, and their fucking incel like fucking syndrome turns on and says, and they all say that Lyrics is turning trans. It is the most stupidest shit, I swear to God. The stupidest shit, okay, I have ever seen. Like the stupidest criticisms, okay? Lyrics gets his hair dyed, okay, puts on some makeup, and they lose their minds. Do you know who else puts on makeup? Like literally some of the most popular celebrities, man celebrities in the world. The people who actually take care of themselves, the people who care about hygiene. It's very telling when you like criticize somebody like that. It's so stupid. God damn, it's so stupid, dude. Holy moly.
A special word for Jews lying or Muslims lying, you know?
It's a self-report.
it's hard to overestimate just how bad the current
Great
state
point.
is.
What? So what was the point of Loner's 50 facts bit when he agreed? The point of the 50 facts bit is basically that if Kuihman was suggesting something about Iran maybe not being that bad, which is going to be the perception of the audience, is Kuihman is saying something along the lines of, actually the Islamic regime, the Islamic Republic, not that bad, is what the audience is going to think. And so he is JN soothing by going, no, Iran really is bad. And they rise up all the time and they do.
It was more than some makeup and no shade. Wait, more in what way? More in what way? Because there must be something I'm missing here, okay? Like
Brutal crackdowns all the time. Iran really is bad. No, I got it, guys. I know. Even though I don't even think he really thinks Kuihman is saying this. He's saying, no, guys. You just, just deep breathing. And I'm going to let him know. Here's all the bad things Iran has done very bad things, sir. Which, by the way, it has. It's just like, nobody's really saying otherwise. It has nothing to do with me complaining about the people pretending that this could have worked, that this, after it was started the way it was, that this could have worked.
I don't know what kind of like what ideology we have going on here. I can say, my brain would say thank you, but like he actually preferred Pahlavi. If you think Pahlavi would be worse than the current regime, you are fucking retarded. You know nothing. If you think even
No, I think we might as well prognosticate about how well Santa Claus would do running Iran. The Easter Bunny would be fantastic as the new Ayatollah. Who cares? Why are we talking about fantasies that can never take place in the real world?
the current regime is anything of the same. If you think the Shah, the actual like the big baddie dictator Shah, if you think
Right, he's like smirking out over Goon Squad with the tomfoolery profile picture. I feel like this exudes a lack of confidence. I almost don't care about the political opinions in my chat because I know, like, you know, either I'm right and everyone's gonna come around to me anyway, well, you know, I'll just adjust a little bit where I miss. You know, it doesn't. I could not give a f if some retard thinks that the Shah would be worse than the Ayatollah. Like, obviously, I don't agree with that. I think the Ayatollah is particularly bad, but I don't think.
I don't know why is he just lying right now? Why is he acting like he wouldn't tell somebody to get in the Discord if they were saying things in his chat?
Yeah, that's not even true, right? Like, Kuihman does spurg out, okay? Like, Kuihman does unironically spurg out, okay? He will get one guide. Like, it's so stupid. Like, why is he even making fun? Oh my god, dude, fuck me. Kuihman will actually get one guide all the time. Like, this is such a stupid fucking.
Why is he pretending that?
Yeah, why is he pretending?
The Shah's like,
good question.
Kuihman's really sitting here like I didn't multiple times just watching this VOD alone. Hear him go, "That's a timeout." You're
so
fucking
stupid.
Yeah, he said political opinions, but I know he would do that over political opinions. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not like you trying to raise a Pahlavi, but there aren't any good options really. It's like the Ayatollah, an RGC, or raise a Pahlavi, or the MEK.
You're near as bad as the regime. You know nothing. I'm sorry, you don't know anything. Okay, the Shah, for all his brutality and killing political opponents and everything, the Islamic Republic outdid him within months. Within months, they set up tribunals for the political opponents and were executing more people within like a year or two than the Shah had in his entire couple of decades rule. Like fucking hell, he actually preferred Pahlavi. Of course,
You don't understand how bad the Ayatollah is. You don't understand how bad they are. They're like really bad. They're like really, really bad.
They fund terrorist regimes across the world. So, yeah, I would probably say they're pretty bad, okay?
Okay, they're like, he's really
When the fuck are they even molding? Nothing. They're being actually retarded.
bad. He's really bad. Okay,
Like they're
guys,
acting
I know. I'm letting him
so
know. Everybody in the
remedial.
chat, I'm letting him know that the Ayatollah is really bad. He was evil. Okay,
you fucking
I
idiot.
got this.
Right?
I got this.
What's
Was
the
Iran
issue?
stable when they murdered at least 7,000 of their own people in 3 days? Like, no, not really. I mean, what is stable here?
It's actually Indians.
At some point, there does kind of need to be.
Guys, this is why LonerBox doesn't want to debate these motherfuckers. Like, and this is why Hutch doesn't want to do it either. You can't listen to this segment. Like, I'm sorry, you can't listen to this segment and expect good faith. There's no shot. Okay, like these people are some of the most bad faith motherfuckers I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. Like, you can tell, like, you can literally tell how bad faith they are, right? Just by the way that they're speaking. Like, I
changed. So it's just a very real shame that you got.
But he just said,
What is it? Was Iran stable when they murdered at least 7,000 of their own people in 3 days? Like,
So
no, not really. I mean,
stupid.
what is stable here?
Yeah, it's actually Indians.
At some point, they're
something for India, dude. I think this Kuihman guy might be racist too. Racist and homophobic.
does kind of need to be
Yeah,
a
he's
change.
pretty racist and
it's just a very real
homophobic.
shame
That's
that you've got
true.
Trump and Hexa
I
leading
mean,
the
like,
charge right
that's.
now.
I mean, Jstlk, if you say so. I mean, I know that you're trying to be sarcastic here, okay, and playing into it a little bit. But like, I'm telling you, dude. I mean, yeah. You know, leaning into the meme doesn't really quite work as well when the meme is true, right? Like, I'm just being real here, okay? Leaning into the meme doesn't work as well. Okay, it really doesn't work as well. Okay, when it's true.
Good point, yeah.
So,
They're kind of
Very
pretty
problematic stream.
most cynical.
Is that what?
Oh, wait, I have to go back. That's me. Oh no, LonerBox misunderstood the English here. I have to go back now because I remember this.
More people within like a year or two than the Shah had in his entire couple of decades rule. Like, then he actually preferred Pahlavi. Yeah, of course, you idiot. That's right. People talk about these.
Oh! The chatter actually didn't say that LonerBox preferred Pahlavi. The chatter was making fun of LonerBox for proffering Pahlavi. He proffered Pahlavi as a reasonable alternative, as somebody who might happen. He proffered Pahlavi. So LonerBox misread. The word is proffered, but he read it preferred. And it's a totally different concept, right? That you prefer one candidate over the other versus you're giving one as like the idea that could happen, right?
Destabilizing. What is it? Was Iran stable when they murdered at least 7,000 of their own people in 3 days? Like, no, not really. I mean, what is stable here?
Yeah.
I point that out to LonerBox and
It's actually Indians.
At some point, there does kind of need to be a
Doesn't read
change. So it's just a very real shame that you've got Trump and Hexa.
say Lamau, he actually proffered.
there's no way Jstlk and Kuihman don't know each other. Believer of light. No, you know what? I'm not gonna burst your bubble. Okay. If you don't know, then you don't know. Okay. It's okay.
Pahlavi. He actually said Pahlavi might be a good Pahlavi might be a thing that could happen, right? That's what this message is saying.
Leading the charge right now.
That's a good point, yeah. They're kind of the least
Okay.
competent. Most cynical.
Is that what LonerBox does this? Oh, what ideology is going on in your chat? What ideology? Have you got all these snarky tankies in your chat? So you go to LonerBox's chat or Discord, and it's like, yeah, the thing about Palestinians, they're all meant to. I can't even say it, bro. Living in bombed out sewage, living in mud huts, in bombed out sewage, and they just can't stop fucking killing.
It's actually not like that. They're not like supremacist Israelis. They're like hyper JN Israelis, okay? They're like constantly talking about what massive victims they are of everything happening in the world. And I don't have patience for it. It's very frustrating for me.
Killing people.
What does JN mean? Neuroticism, like being overly neurotic, thinking things are going badly for you when they're not. Having very little empathy for other people's experiences, putting your experience above theirs consistently, right? Having like literally zero empathy for people who are facing far harder circumstances.
Toilet. You give them indoor plumbing. They dig it all up, just rockets over the border. Which is
Drama 101. Hop in the Discord, man. You seem like you really dislike this Kuihman guy. I bet I could get him on to argue with you. I bet you he's probably out at a club right now or some shit in England, okay? 2 a.m. He's probably drunk as shit. I bet you I could get him to call in. Call in, man.
Oh yeah, apparently Kuihman is an alcoholic, but like that's not too surprising. Okay, like that's kind of the natural state of British people. But
That's like the LonerBox audience.
Presidents, you could have to do it. This is a video, by the way, of when the news hit Iran that
he drinks alone. He drinks alone. Okay,
the Ayatollah was killed.
I'm not joking.
Just to give you an idea.
Right now. Yeah, I believe that. I'm driving right now.
Like, you are just shilling for the strike. Also, by the way, guys,
But that totally makes sense.
someone tell me when Destiny goes online, so I can stop watching LonerBox. Someone tells me when my favorite streamer goes online, so I can tune out LonerBox. Yeah, you're just shilling for the strikes.
I'll be real with you. Oh, do I say?
What?
Yeah, I will. Okay. LonerBox's like drama channel is just a Destiny fan channel. And people get upset that I say that because they, I'll point that out to people and they'll go, I dislike you. I don't even like Destiny. I dislike you. It's like, okay.
Yeah, we all knew that they were gonna mention Destiny sooner or later, right? We all knew. We all knew that they were gonna mention Steven.
But if I'm not here, I'm just reading
We were just wondering when, right?
that chat. You guys are consistently posting like Destiny tweets, Destiny clips, Destiny stuff in that chat. More than LonerBox stuff, okay? At least from what I've seen. That's just facts, okay? That's just facts. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Bro, there's nothing worse than when Kalinda joined like the...
To be fair, Spider is a Destiny fan. Yeah, obviously, but who cares? There's many people in this space that are Destiny fans, but what does that have to do with anything? Like, it's so cucked. Like, it's so cucked in this space that like who cares whether or not someone is a Destiny fan at this point? Like why? Why does that even matter? Like, who cares?
voice channel with LonerBox. It was like, I like kind of like Destiny, but I'll usually watch you if you're both online. Usually I'll watch you.
I mean, you just sound really salty. I'm not gonna lie. You just sound really bitter and sad and bothered, hot and bothered.
To the Iranians or to Ethan? Like, what should people just not show this? Is this just irrelevant information?
That's like universal rejoicing.
Why are you apologizing to us? I'm apologizing for the clip that Spider's making right now to post in that Discord right now. Or Black Cat or something. Whenever I like talk about them, somebody's watching the stream just so they're watching the stream as I like mock their neuroticism constantly. They're through tears, just waiting for the moment.
I'll be honest, okay? I will never understand these people, okay? Like I try not to pretend. I try not to understand. I try not to pretend to understand Black Cat or Spider or anybody. Like basically these people, okay, let me just give the rundown who these people are, okay? These people are like Twitter, like Twitter enthusiasts, okay? They spend all day 24/7 on Twitter. They're like Zay Squirrel, but on our side. They're like Zay Squirrel, but on our side. They don't lie about things, but they certainly like beef all day on Twitter for no money. You would have to pay me. You would have to pay me gratuitous amounts of money to beef with Jstlk on Twitter constantly. Why would you ever do that? Okay, you have issues. Okay, I've talked to both of them. Okay, Spider and Black Cat before, and I have to say, okay, it's time to touch grass. Okay, it's time to touch grass. All right, they're a little eccentric. Okay, they're endearing, but they're both a little eccentric. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Anybody who spends all day on Twitter, they're gonna be a little weird. Okay, I'm also weird, but guess what? At least I have motivate. Like I make money off of streaming. Okay, I'm just saying. I wouldn't be doing this. There's no way I would be streaming like this for free. Okay, no shot.
Where I talk about LonerBox or the Discord, so they clip that and post it in the Discord. So they're like literally in tears having to listen to me mock.
Like that's mentally ill. But whatever.
I got you now. You said mean things about me. You said mean things about the Discord. What the man?
There's like, if you were afraid that there was a lot of people that disagree with you.
Well, no, obviously I'm aware. The US selling out.
I do like Spider. Like unironically, he's just like he doesn't get it yet. He'll get it eventually. But I got no real problem with Spider. Okay, Spider's okay in my book.
Thank you for 10 gifted. Thank you, huge appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. In
How merciful of you, Supreme Leader.
every country supports stupid shit all the time. It doesn't mean they're getting better. It was a good idea.
You were afraid that there was
People in his chat like Destiny, so I blame Loner. Yeah, that's what I said. That's you typing very well for driving.
a lot of people that disagree with you.
Well, no, obviously I'm aware. The US selling out resurgent groups in the Middle East is incredibly common. I'm aware. But
listen.
Supreme Leader.
Actually, no, I'm done with talking about it.
It isn't just like the group. It's like the people. It's like 80% of this population want their government gone, wanted the regime to fall. They had these mass protests, and then tens of thousands of them were slaughtered. And you sat there and watched. You made these gay warnings, saying, well, if you kill these people, we're going to do so. We'll stop you. Did nothing. Watch them get slaughtered, and then when the resistance is crushed, then you kill the leader. And people are defending it.
Is his argument that they just came in too late?
No.
It's part of the argument.
But the way it was done is particularly egregious. No, that's not my problem. It was just too late. No, there are a million other problems with it. Before we even get to the too late part, I am describing why this is particularly abhorrent. And yeah, never lays out an opinion. Never lays out like, oh, does he really think? Does he really think? Does he really think? Say something, man. Say something.
Like you would support it?
Dude, I do think the criticism. Oh, these people.
Dude, there's literally no need. There's literally no need to beat this unhinged. Like, I don't. Okay, so like, just take a breather, okay? Like, seriously, just take a breather. Why are you so energetic? I don't.
Like, people even read
I can't.
the entire JCPOA? Have these people even read the entire JCPOA? I'm sorry.
If you did it during the protest.
It's not even a thing. Listen, I've only heard LonerBox do it once, and it's very common among streamers to do. Okay, but I just have a traumatic react. I have a trauma response to that exact way of arguing. That's not cool, man.
Remember,
in fact, let me extend an olive branch to all of the people who are watching this and seething, who are very mad that I'm talking shit. Okay, I think Hassan does this about as much as anybody, if not more. Okay, Hassan is famous for the
He does.
Oh, okay.
the protests have resumed. So if that's the
Hassan's
position, the protests have resumed 5 days before these strikes.
Yeah,
So
like after they've had like 40,000 of them killed. Yes, dude, it's not just about the protests. It's not just about the protests. Obviously, part of protests is having organized groups. Like you have groups organizing those protests, and a lot of the people that are likely to have died in that month-long gap, in that 40,000, are going to be people that are attracting the most attention on the front lines of the protest. I would imagine if they get gunned down, and they probably try to track organizers down too. So a key part of this is not just that there are people out in the streets. It's that the organizers, the people that would be pushing and making the effort, the ones that put their head above the parapet the most, have now been killed. So it makes it infinitely harder for a successful overthrow attempt.
Students are back out again. But
Ethan saying like, oh, look how happy the people
also,
are.
I don't even think me or Ethan are defending it. Where are we getting
Ethan is literally the whole way through like, oh, well, it's not that bad, is it? Wow, great. Wow, great. Yeah, it means so much, man. It means so much when their entire organization has been like, why is Ethan bringing this clip up? Why is Ethan bringing the clip up? Ask yourself that. Ethan isn't defending it. Why is the clip being brought up?
This is unironically more dishonest and manipulative than Hassan trying to pretend he didn't shock his dog. Weaponized incredulity, BPD code.
You can't make parody. You can't make parody out of Kuihman and Jstlk because they parody themselves already constantly. Like, I don't even know what to say, man.
I hate even that drama being brought up from the other side. I just don't want to fucking hear about Hassan chucking his dog. Thank you for the $5. Thank you. Crushed. Everyone.
That's funny.
Still brain broken.
Funny super chat.
You know,
And of course they would defend that, right? Like, and of course they would defend like the fucking shocking of the dog. Like, of course they would defend that, but whatever.
Good times.
Has been slaughtered in the streets.
Protesters who are able to overwhelm government buildings that have been, or government positions that have been weakened, and you can actually have Reza Pahlavi coming in this plan working. It's a very, if it were any other president, I would completely support it because it's hard to overestimate just how bad the current state of affairs is, right?
But what do you mean if it was any other president, you would support it? Any other?
Yeah, but LonerBox. Wait, so LonerBox doesn't even support it, dude. Like, whatever, man.
So I think it's obvious what I'm saying there, right? I think what I'm saying is that the overall principle, the overall idea of you give air support to protesters who were out before the airstrike started, by the way. You give air support to the protesters, you take out the regime, you take out their ballistic missiles, their nuclear threat,
so, with the process followed beforehand, right, LonerBox?
No, this is, again, it's actually, this wouldn't be my criticism. You can't take out this many people. You can't even, unless you have intelligence of like significant splinters, like unless you have some sort of plan where the CIA and the Mossad have been here, and there's like two factions that you think you can get to flip on each other if the Ayatollah is gone or something. Like, unless you have something like that going on, you could cause a civil war automatically. But as soon as they reach out to the Kurds, everybody realizes, oh, they didn't plan shit. You can't air support bomb your way into having like an unarmed populace overcome a military like arm that has hundreds of thousands of people in it. It's just not possible. It's literally not possible. You need people who are armed that's the other thing is you probably only get up in this military by being like devout, right? Like there's probably a ton of purity testing that's happening along the way, right? Hey, this woman just refused to wear her hijab. Do you want to break her legs for me? No, I don't want to do that. Well, do you not believe in like our dictates? Right? I'm guessing there's tons of shit like that as you move up through these ranks, and it's just going to make it so it's a very hard nut to crack in this way, right?
What?
With like a UN Security Council
But what is that supposed to dude? Okay, what is he even talking about at this point?
That you think you can get to flip on each other if the Ayatollah is gone or something. Like, unless you have something like that going on, you could cause a civil war.
They're talking about like the people uprising to overthrow the Ayatollah. Dude, religious zealots hate each other, dude. Religious zealots, bro, I promise you, underneath all of that solidarity, underneath all of that outward solidarity, there's always infighting. Why do you think we have like 500 different factions in the Middle East? Why do you think we have like 500 different factions in the Middle East? Like, don't you think that everybody should like belong under one banner of like radical Islam? Why do we have all this infighting? Why is it that it's always Muslims killing other Muslims? Why is that the case, right? I would not be surprised if a rift like that existed within the Iran military or within the Iran government, right? Of course. It's the natural state of things in the Middle East, okay? Like,
automatically. But as soon as they reach out to the Kurds, everybody realizes, oh, they didn't plan shit. You can't air support bomb your way into having like an unarmed populace overcome a military like arm that has hundreds of thousands of people in it. It's just not possible. It's literally not possible.
Okay, stealing my take
You
now?
need people who are armed on the. That's the other thing is you probably only get up in this military by being like devout, right? Like it's there's probably a ton of purity testing that's happening along the way, right? Hey, this woman just refused to wear her hijab. Do you want to break her legs for me? No, I don't want to do that. Well, do you not believe in like our dictates, right? I'm guessing there's tons of shit like that as you move up through these ranks, and it's just going to make it so it's a very hard nut to crack in this way, right?
With like a UN Security Council resolution, preferably. With like congressional approval, preferably. Right, LonerBox? Right?
IRGC security forces, and then
Bro, are you okay? Like, do you need to take a breather? Like, I can't, dude, oh my god. I can't imagine being this worked up. That's crazy. You need to calm down, dude.
allows the protesters to step into space and
What is wrong
reclaim
with
their
you?
freedom. Like, that's the whole gist of the idea. And if any other president were going to make that decision, they would absolutely be weighing up questions like,
Loner says that right now, Kuihman paused at a bad spot. What? Are you like typing to me what's going to happen in the video while you're driving? Are you like so invested that you're actually typing in my chat while you're driving, apparently, which we all know you're not, but I'm going to keep going with it.
Is he
Or
getting
are you
one guy
like
by
looking at
this
his Discord and
rando?
getting notes from him right now? Or are you telling me what happened in the video? I don't even know.
I
What do you mean LonerBox is saying
can't.
he... Because
This
it
is so
seems
stupid.
it seems like you're saying that you're talking to LonerBox right now.
are there enough defectors?
Aye,
that
aye,
we-
aye.
Literally, so he is espousing, it's like, unless it changes in the next few seconds, it seems like he is espousing the position that I'm saying is disgusting. And he's calling me bad faith for saying that he's thinking that. So you have the position, you have the disgusting position, which is, I would support war crimes if they were done competently. Just do them well. That's what you're...
I would, yes, I would. But then they wouldn't be war crimes, okay? They wouldn't be war crimes.
Yeah, I'm fine with the illegal strike on this country. Just do it competently. And, you know, obviously, like I've said earlier, like I laid
Which, by the way, I would just say means the Venezuelan boats, like those drug boats that were getting shot, you support that too, right? I don't know what the differentiation is. I don't know why there's a differentiation, actually. It's just Mike makes right that it's pretty obvious the Venezuela stuff's all okay.
that earlier, there are edge cases once all other options have been exhausted and you're in a corner, and it is the humanitarian.
He did? Wait, did he support it or did he just say it was legal? And then beyond that, because,
I mean, my real position on this matter, and I'm gonna say it again, is that, like, obviously, like anybody else, I'm not like Asmongold. I'm not for like unwarranted attacks on the populace. Okay, but I accept that casualties on the side are gonna happen, right, as a result of carelessness. But carelessness does not indicate like actual havoc, like actual like targeting, deliberate targeting of civilians. In addition, okay, I believe that the reason behind launching an attack like that is just as important as the attack itself. I think that if your reasoning is to consolidate power, or it's because like Bibi Netanyahu fucking hyped you up, then yeah, I would say that's a shitty reasoning, right? Like I would argue that's shitty reasoning, okay? Then you shouldn't do it because the reasoning is bad. But in my opinion, if Joe Biden was doing it because it was just simply the best for us, foreign interest-wise, okay, because they were close to doing something bad, then in my opinion, I would support that because the reasoning behind it is sound, okay? The reasoning behind it isn't just, oh, well, you know, just gonna, like, you guys get what I mean, right? Like, there's nuance behind this. Like, ultimately, there is nuance behind it, and I just don't like it whenever people pretend like there's no nuance behind it. I think that there is a lot of nuance behind something like this, like Obama ordering drone strikes.
there's no way he had the Avi position. Because it was very obvious that Avi was looking for a way to say that it was all legal and okay and good, because Avi doesn't want international law to apply to America.
That's crazy.
Because if international law applies to America and people agree that international law should be applied to America, then that means that international law should be applied somewhere else too. I mean supporting. Like you're saying, like this would be something you support. He's saying this ought happen. If you're willing to say this ought happen with Iran, then I don't understand where the ought changes with the drug runner boats. I don't get it.
Thought out, plan things to intervene. There are cases where something could be illegal and you still take action. Kosovo obviously being the example. But we're not there. We're not there, and you're not laying out those prerequisites. You're not laying those out as necessary for your support. You seem to pretty clearly be saying, no, you're fine with the US head of state basically unilaterally deciding. Obviously, you know, he thinks there would be more consultation and weighing the options, but essentially unilaterally deciding, yeah, we're going to war with Iran. I'm striking Iran because I think this regime's really bad, without consulting the international community, without going through the UN, which is literally, that is the disgusting position that I'm condemning. So if that's what you think, yes, I think that you have a very disgusting position on this, and you should be treated like a Nazi. You should be like, you know, like I say, like the German citizen that goes along with it, because the US is the great shaitan, and if you're playing defense, you're filth.
About within
We
the
watch the
military or the
video.
IRGC to do this.
I don't think I can play the video again.
Are the
think I can
protesters
do it.
like in a position where they can actually have some level of coordination? Is Reza
Oh, yeah, I don't think it... Dude, they just took down, like, apparently 500 people got departnered on Kick recently. And then I think Bijan Tehrani, one of the co-founders of Kick, is also not a big fan of the regime, okay? I don't think I can risk playing regime propaganda on stream. I think that could go
Why would
badly
you
for
do
me.
that?
Okay.
Lavi's promise of 50,000 defectors actually even
No, it
What?
wouldn't be sincere.
What are the ramifications for the rest of the Gulf region? What's it going to do with
Okay.
regards
Yeah,
I
entertaining the Pahlavi thing is just silly.
to what happens to Israel and Hezbollah? Because obviously the rest of the Axis are going to want to respond in some way. Are they going to respond in a forceful way or in a kind of pathetic way? Is going to matter. There are all these questions that I don't. And obviously, are they going to justify it to the people? Are they going to go to the Congress? Are they going to go to the European powers?
That's a lie, by the way. He didn't support strikes on drug boats. He supported capturing those Russian shadow fleets of oil tankers for LonerBox, right?
Explain their plan and everything, so that it's got like stages of approval. But obviously they haven't, which means that it's hard to tell if this was executed on good grounds or just on nothing, on just Trump seeing a prize.
See, here's the thing. He's not stating those as pretty firm prerequisites. Obviously, like I keep laying out, if I have caveats every single time, Kosovo, there are carve-outs. But he is not saying that's like a prerequisite. He's saying, like, oh, that'd be like a good idea. But based on everything I've heard him say, it does seem like he's fine with like these unilateral decapitation strikes.
And just chasing it like a fucking child, like a fascist murdering child. Like that's kind of what I'm saying. I think that's quite clear.
No, it's not. You just say, because LonerBox, all you say is, I would probably be in favour of this if it wasn't Trump and Hegseth doing it. That's actually not very clear, LonerBox. That's actually not very clear. Even here, you're not particularly clear. You're not actually laying out like firm criteria. You're like leaving room.
Yeah, for
You're like saying, yeah, no, the president
that
would
makes
probably do
sense.
You're not.
Also, yeah, of course he wouldn't support that. Like that's again, like notice how I'm actually interpreting LonerBox in good faith, right? Notice how like I'm actually going like, well, LonerBox wouldn't say that. Oh, LonerBox would say that. LonerBox wouldn't say that, right? But then meanwhile, like if you ever look at their analysis of things, it's always like the most extreme bad faith examples of whatever, right? Like it's the most bad faith of the most bad faith examples. Like it's not even remotely in the same realm, right? Like yeah, but I thought that was obvious. Already,
Saying, I would not support it unless that.
No, he's not a monarchist. Well, I've seen no indication he's a monarchist.
So yeah, like again, just don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when LonerBox calls you guys bad faith, okay? Because you are, right? Because you are, right? Like let's not pretend that you aren't, because you are.
Poor Beller. I've seen indication he's against the regime, which I think most diaspora are. It's just whether or not they support the monarchy. I don't think it's like he loves Pahlavi or the Shah or something. I don't think it's like that. But I don't know. I haven't seen too many of
That
his
has
tweets.
happened. That's like the firm position that we're looking for here, LonerBox. I do not support these attacks because they are illegal and not all other options have been explored and there was no imminent threat. But it's very clear. You can very clearly lay out a firm position. Why do people struggle with this, man? Yeah, Hutch does too. Why do people struggle so much with laying out, this is what I think?
No, I don't like this. Like I even disagree. I even disagree with Kuihman here. Oh Lord. I hate it whenever people say something is illegal or legal, okay? You shouldn't be against genocide because it's illegal. You should be against genocide because it's genocide. But like, we're like, this is like the autistic anti-fan brain, like going off and interpreting everything in like the worst light. Like you need to be able to analyze things in a moral framework. I frankly don't give a fuck. About whether or not something is legal, okay? If something is illegal, then that should be more of an indicator of why that law was there in the first place. And you should ask yourself whether or not your morality or ethics is violated by the spirit of that law, right? Or what is the spirit of that law indicating, right? That is the way that I analyze any kind of law, to be honest. But morality overrules it. Like if your morality directly, if you think that something is ethical, but then the law says no, I think that it is justified to break the law, right? Which is why, like, the frame of analysis of whether or not something is legal is retarded, as one might say.
I think this is wrong because X. I would think it was right if Y. Can we manage that? Can we manage that? I would probably be in favour if it worked on Hegseth doing it. Not very clear, is it?
I see it
really?
like this.
Agree in the sense that any other president would not have done it like this. No other president would have done it this.
Obviously. But why are you shouting at me?
Not even Bush with this dumb. You know, I agree in that sense.
Okay.
But the idea that if you take roughly what has happened here,
Wait. I replayed this when I was first watching it off stream like 5 times just to make sure I knew what I was listening to.
done it like this.
Is this right? It's
Legality is downstream from morality. Yeah, legality is just codified morality, right? It's just codified morality. And even then, like I'm not sure if like you should view it in that. I don't know.
it's hard to
Yeah. Why are you yelling? Because I'm projecting my voice.
Like just because it's codified doesn't mean that you necessarily have to agree with that codified version of morality, right?
So making it bombastic and entertaining for an audience LonerBox rather than sitting there and going, oh yeah,
He's actually yelling because he doesn't want his noise gate to.
It's someone
I don't think
else's.
I don't think he has a noise
morality.
gate, but he doesn't want his noise gate to cut him off. He doesn't want his mic to go out, so that's why he's yelling. Okay, be very, very aura killing to lose your train of thought in the middle. Okay, have it cut out because of your noise gate. again.
I suppose like lefties need to learn how to read books. I suppose like lefties need to learn how to read books. Lefties need to like learn how to read books. My entire stream.
While becoming in this plan working. It's a very...
The thing about comparisons is that people say one thing like another, but it's not exactly the same. Make me really upset.
If there were any other president, I would completely support it because
Right.
it's hard to overestimate just how bad the current state of affairs is, right?
But what do you mean if it was any other president, you would support it?
Here comes the Weasel Brigade to spam chat with Kuihman and Jstlk cope. Bro, what? What do you mean cope? They have a disagreement. People just... Also, why do I even get dragged into this? I happen to be in a conversation...
You are married to Kuihman, okay? You're married to Kuihman, okay? He is your dearest.
Today in LonerBox's Discord that LonerBox was a part of.
The president
Okay?
would not have done
That was why I'm looking at it now. I didn't care about this before. Come on, man.
No other president would have done it this retarded. Not even Bush was this dumb. You know, I agree in that sense. But the idea that if you take roughly what has happened,
People act like this is
Weasel Brigade? Yeah, no kidding.
life or death. Yeah, it's not that serious, man. It's just content, dog. Have a conversation. It's just a collab, man. Somebody disagrees with you.
here, you would support it from a different president. No, this is disgusting.
What do you mean by that? Roughly from a different president? Like,
So if you take roughly the actions that occurred here, as in a unilateral decapitation strike that hasn't gone through Congress or the UN and was not, done in coordination with allies and weeks late with no on the ground force ready to take power from the regime. Yeah, if you take roughly that and put it on another president, even if it was done slightly more competently,
Okay.
that would still be terrible.
Oh, thank
That would
God.
still be
For a
terrible.
second, I was like, oh God, we're only this far into the video. I was going to lose it.
And key
Holy
element
shit.
that are necessary for sport.
it sounds like he's suggesting that I would support the exact same actions with the same level of calculation, with the same consideration of international ramifications, just if you put a D next to it.
Yes, LonerBox. When you say, I would support this if it wasn't Trump and Hegseth doing it.
Dude, I don't know how to explain this to people. This entertaining the idea. As soon as you put a different president in charge of this, it becomes very obvious that it won't happen, right? There is no set of circumstances you could make happen here. There's just, given the facts as they are, I do not believe there's a set of circumstances where another American president decides to do these strikes. They do not benefit the American people. Trump is the only person who will take his personal benefit and put it above the American people, and that's why he's doing these strikes.
What? No? Why is Trump the only one? You don't think that other people are going to put their personal interests above the American people's interests? Also, how do you know that attacking Iran isn't part of the American people's interests, right? At some point, right? Because it could entirely be possible that they're doing something unhinged, and you put an end to it.
Okay? It's just fact. That's just the way it is. It's just facts. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter how many times you say, well, Iran's really bad. They cracked down on protesters. They killed Americans 47 years ago. They killed a bunch of Americans. Doesn't matter how many times you say this, right?
Stupid.
No other president would do this. It takes the unique, generational, once-in-a-lifetime that is Donald Trump to go along with this shit, okay?
Well, what you've just said is obviously an extreme, hyper-specific version. Yes, that is roughly what I'm going to take. Yes, you would, roughly, these strikes from a different president, you would support. I would support it if it was anyone else. Yes, I think roughly the thing that happened here, you're saying, you would support someone else. Yes. So it's just is it necessary to LonerBox that all other options have been exhausted, that you've gone through the UN Security Council, that you've hit that roadblock of China and Russia veto? Is going to Congress, just went to Congress necessary? Are these necessary? That's the question, really, it's being ourselves.
Oh, why the fuck should we take the UN seriously when nobody takes the UN seriously? That just sounds like you're self-handicapping yourself.
Because that's totally different. It's a whole different thing. It's like a whole different strike.
It's just that American foreign policy tends to just be realist, right? That's what it is.
No, American foreign policy is just ignoring the UN.
If you have a calculation you can make that this is going to help America, you will do it. That's how America operates. This is the first time in America's history where they're actually being puppeted by Israel. Okay, that just didn't make any sense. Right? When I say realism, I mean brutal, harsh pragmatism. I'm going to just do a calculation of how much this helps the American bottom line. Right? It's political theory called realism. Okay. Yes. And obviously, what about Vietnam? I assume they think that making sure communism isn't infiltrating places was something they put at a high a high premium. America or rich people? America, it would be mostly about the elites, but the American interest to keep America the global superpower. That's why America does things, to remain the global superpower. And by the way, that includes going and doing horrific crimes, horrific helping borderline ideological Nazis go and kill a whole bunch of good people and take over their country so that you can get shit from it.
That's not true. I think in all the examples that I've seen, it's always bad people versus worse people, and America will support the bad people to overthrow the worse people. But if you allow these worse people to get into position, a lot more people are gonna die. Okay, so frankly, for example, the Yemen conflict shit, right? God, why can I give up examples but they can't? Dude, for the Yemenis war, the Houthi is unironically worse than the dominating regime that came before it in Yemen. Okay, the regime that came before it was horrible. They were backed by the Saudis and the US, but the Houthis are objectively worse. Okay, they're objectively worse.
Includes that, right? Just telling you.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Mostly about unfortunately, like that's also the case is you have a group of oligarchs who can enrich themselves. That's going to allow them to, I don't know, shepherd the country better. Is the way it is.
If it's not unilateral, if there's months of planning and discussion with the public and international community beforehand, it's not the same thing at that point. You're not supporting the same thing from a different president at that point. And then what you said would be wrong. It's not actually what you think.
Yes, that's the lie America says. We're just spreading democracy. BS, they world police. Do you think I just said they're spreading democracy? I basically just said they would cut the throat of like a benevolent president who's democratically elected to put a dictator in place if they could get like uranium or something from that country. So I'm not saying they're spreading democracy. I'm saying they're going to do things that make good outcomes for America happen.
The same behavior with Congress, the same behavior with European allies? What the man? What is this? What am I watching? What is this good faith principle critique from our boy here? What the
This is disgusting. Well, so
My
responding to this,
boy, he's my
I would support
boy.
this from anyone else. And I take that to mean someone else doing roughly these actions you would be in favor of.
He's my boy.
That's bad faith. That's bad faith, guys. How could you possibly lie and smear LonerBox like that? How could you possibly do that? Taking his words to mean the exact literal meaning of the sentence with no real room for other interpretations. Because I don't say that I would agree with your position that this is. He thinks that I say I would agree with his position that I would support this from any other president. But I'm saying I agree it would have been done better. But I don't agree that you should support roughly these actions from any other president.
And now he's just going to angrily agree with me for 5 minutes. Like,
Involvement. Any consultation with the international community. No. If you would support this action from another president, you are scum. You are filth. You are just...
yeah, if you're another president, yeah, if Biden just did the exact same thing, but just because Biden doing
No,
it.
just roughly the same thing. We're saying the same action. That's what you're saying. That's what you said in the clip. Maybe you don't think that. Maybe you don't believe that.
Never
You said the same
changed
thing.
agreement.
So we're talking about a unilateral decapitation strike. America decided, we want to intervene, we're going to go do it. Even if it was done well, still bad.
Make me happy. Like, do you seriously think that's my position? Is that what you think of me? What the fuck, man?
Yes, that's why I think roughly your position is, generally, yeah. I could be wrong, but based on the other attacks...
I mean, I forget when this happened precisely, but I'm pretty sure Kuihman went on to argue that Hassan didn't lie about mass rapes or something, didn't he? Wasn't that
No way. No, that's not what that's not how I remembered that. Wait, what? No, I don't think that's how I remembered it.
Kuihman's argument? Went on and argued with LonerBox about it?
I've seen him talk about.
Might have been Noah Sampson, actually.
That seems to be where he's at. Like, he doesn't really believe in international law. He's like ends justify the means on foreign policy. That seems to be the case. Like some subhuman drone, frankly, to steal a term from Charmhole. Okay, now I have seen this bit. I have rewatched this bit. He doesn't like this, guys. He doesn't like this.
Come on.
Like some
Liberal
subhuman
fascist.
drone, frankly, to steal a term from Charmhole, a liberal fascist.
Liberal
You are just a
fascist.
degenerate, westoid,
What does this have to do with fascism?
megalomaniac who thinks you can go around the globe, execute. Well, so the point that I'm making is the idea that you've decided essentially there's this group, like, essentially the whole of the Middle East, that you can subjugate and punish and exploit, and you don't even have to consult even your own people about it. You do it unilaterally, you do it as a authoritative figure.
My man Kuihman back at the top of his game. Loner brings out your best.
Megalomaniacal.
That person
Oh god, I fucking hate his laugh, man.
donated that, and then Kuihman immediately went on vacation.
God, his laugh is so fucking
And
annoying.
again,
Holy
that person
shit.
is so...
Thank you for the donation. Huge appreciate it. Thank you so much. Meddling other people's countries without even consulting your own people who paid for the
He's just completely riffing on it now. He's just taking that to be like, I support
Yes, I am
every
riffing. Yes, it's a live stream. Yes, I'm riffing.
single thing about how Trump has done this. Just that it's not, it should be what? It should be,
Do you think that Kuihman spent a lot of time studying this segment? Does he think that? Bro, LonerBox got more faith in Kuihman's ability to prepare for his streams than his stream chat does, okay? Bro, ask Kuihman chatters how hard he prepares for his stream. Shows up to stream, guys, I kind of want to do this. Just put the link
He sounds like an old SpongeBob. Oh god. He does, doesn't he?
in the channel. Okay, get me the links. Maybe I'll do this later.
a different
Yikes.
face. It should just have a D next to it. That's what he's doing right now.
Wild.
And I know full well he doesn't believe that. That's why he starts saying, oh yeah, I agree that the president with
Yikes.
I do. That is basically how I'm taking the statement. No, I don't think you would support literally this exact action with a D next to it. I think the way I'm reading that statement, and the way I still kind of read that statement based on the way you're speaking here, is roughly these actions from a different president, from a Democratic president, you would support. So it doesn't matter if they're gone. I don't think to LonerBox it matters, and I could be wrong, like I say. I don't think it's necessary that they go through the UN first to LonerBox. I don't think it's necessary they go to Congress first.
By the way, Kuihman's reiterating the exact criticism again about following procedure, like for the 100th time. Maybe I could just hit play, but I'm not going to. I just want to say I make all those same excuses, so I'm not really throwing the first stone here. I'm just
I
laughing.
think to LonerBox, he is generally ends justify
I'm
the
just
means,
laughing.
and if this had been done in a more competent and planned way, with a day after plan and everything, he would be in favor of it. That's what I think. That's what I think. To be totally clear, because I get frustrated with LonerBox not laying out his opinion. That is clear as day, my opinion. Okay, so if LonerBox doesn't think that's how he thinks, he can just say, I don't think that. It is absolutely necessary to me that they go through the international community in Congress. All other options must be exhausted before you do something like this.
differently. They would weigh the pros and cons differently. They would have consulted Congress and they would have informed the European allies and they would have had a much better grasp of what the potential outcomes are. And if it,
So again, he's saying informed European allies. So like informing European allies. You go through the UN Security Council and you push it as far as it will go until you can't push it any further because of China and Russia. That's what you do. You make the argument on the world stage. You push that forward. You try to pursue the legitimate avenue. And if it is so, if the moral crime is so abhorrent that it must be acted upon, even without that authorization, then at that point, you act. You don't just decide you're going to go do it. You don't decide you're going to go do it and inform your European allies. But no, you go through the UN.
those potential outcomes were not favorable, if they were actually potentially way too destructive, he would have maybe even just not done it at all, which I would also support as a decision. I'd rather this decision was put in front of the desk of someone who can actually make that decision, which is why I would also trust a yes from someone like Biden much more than someone like Trump. So he understands all that, but he just had to pivot to this thing that I don't know why. Liberal fascist, bro.
It's Simon to come on again over this and walk back most of his statements. What are the statements that he would walk back?
What are we saying, man? What is the argument? Where's the argument there? Where's the tweet?
You would walk back.
There's a deep tweet.
Stand up now and take no sides. Will not see how to turn it good. Serve you what does he good. Be a thing with good. So you can down with the
Kuihman returning to streaming just to call LonerBox a liberal fascist. Has Kuihman took a break from streaming? What happened?
We're so back. We're so back.
You know, like Iran antagonizes not just countries in the region. They don't just murder people in
Guys, you know Iran's really bad, guys. Iran's really bad, guys. You know Iran's really bad. That means national law. Don't you know, guys?
Iraq, Lebanon, Syria. It's also America. They've attacked Americans. Even just in this decade, just like
Well, LonerBox. Maybe leave that one out. Maybe leave that one out. Not quite as compelling as the last one.
a few years ago, there have been
Dude, I swear to God, the thing that is happening though is like you would trust me if you were LonerBox. Imagine that instead of a chat, it was like your like nagging wife, okay? And every time you forget to like bring up your wife's concern in a conversation, she like nags you about it for the next.
When fascists are antithetical and antithet. Okay, never mind. What happened to Trump's board of peace? Why can't he ask those countries for Trump for help? What, bro? Okay, I've never even heard of that. Second misspeak.
It's like 3 days in a
Fuck
row,
you.
just over and over and over again. That's why LonerBox has to run down the list of all the bad things Iran's done. Because if you forget to talk about how bad Iran
Never
is,
mind.
you're going to hear about it. Okay, you're going to hear about it a lot.
Iranian attempts to murder journalists who are from the diaspora who disagree with them, who oppose the regime. But whatever. That's besides the point.
Okay, stop.
Yes, that's my position.
It's just like so. No, it's like so such a non sequitur. Guys, you think it's wrong to brand in other people's countries without consulting the international community, or going through the Security Council, doing it for anything? Well, don't you know that Iran's really bad? Cool, man.
Why are you
Awesome.
mad?
Wow, high level stuff. All
Why
those
are
books
you
doing you good,
mad?
clearly, LonerBox. All those books doing you a lot of good.
Okay, yes. And that makes you and your little fucking gaggle happy. Yes. Every single thing.
Chud logic, his orbit anchor.
This entire operation is based. If only for the fact, if only it could be done with Hillary Clinton's head on the planes. Okay.
I mean, basically,
The Nicholas Diorio fans. Damn, I guess there probably is a lot of Nicholas Diorio overlap, isn't there? I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that much. Damn. Real quick. What do you think of Nicholas Diorio?
I'm a big fan of Nicholas Diorio. What can I say?
Antithetical.
You do your research.
Jesus.
You know what the best part of this is? It's a little in the middle of it. I'm a big fan of Nicholas Diorio. What can I say? You do your research. Dude, Jesus. You really do be doing that a lot, okay? It's fucked up.
Necessarily true. If you analyze everything on
Nice.
It doesn't have to be worse.
I feel like I wouldn't be doing this with the black person. Okay, you're just doing it because she's Israeli, aren't you?
It could be. It could be worse in the sense that one outcome potentially is the Ayatollah is gone, but then there's
Based, I
the
guess.
youth of the IRGC
Jesus.
who are easily the most
It's a bad impression, to be honest. No, it was okay impression. It was pretty good.
indoctrinated, most
It's just racist. That's it.
radicalized faction of the entire Islamic Republic. They're the youngest generation, and they're more radical and more hardline than.
I'm sorry, but it's already worse. I don't think it's going to get better. And you're like coping like this. Like you sound like a coping like this. Even just to me, it's like clear what's happened here. The US and Israel already destabilized the country.
I've never seen a good faith clip from this guy. Bro, what? How do these people not know what this means? How are you viewers in like this space? You don't know what this means. I don't know how to tell you this. If I genuinely find you, how do I put this? If I call you that's not bad faith. I'm just calling you that's never seen a sober stream from Jstlk. You ever had a sober stream, brother? Yeah, dude, I think what they're looking, I'm trying to think of it's like the antithesis of a steel man. If you take somebody super literally and don't try to infer it all what they're saying. But Kuihman does a little bit of inference of what LonerBox is saying. It's not really that far off. So,
Country in the regime with the initial strikes on Fordo and all that shit earlier, 6 months ago, whenever. That already weakened the regime. There's been a swelling of support for an opposition, partly due to American and Israeli interference and incitement. US state officials, former state officials, are say openly, was that Huckabee, I think, or Pompeo, one of them, said openly, good luck to all the Iranian protesters, and all of them are Assad agents marching alongside them. They say this openly. They have fomented the resistance to the opposition.
How does that even work? So first of all, I don't know if he's forgotten, but Iran deals with urban uprisings or protest uprisings like all the time. Like every few years, they're going to go through another round of.
there's no way I went to a different thing. Oh,
Basically,
thank God. I was like, dude, I'm starting to get deja vu. I think I went way back. I clicked on the wrong. This was the previous one we were looking at. Yeah. I like heard it. I'm like immediately like, wait, what? Why is he saying that? Why is Kuihman saying that again?
You're like fine with these unilateral strikes. That seems to be the case. That's what you're saying. As long as it's planned well. Like, yeah, you think other people should be informed. Ultimately, it's just the US president's decision. They just do it. It should be a Nazi.
What?
LonerBox belongs in the Tower of London because he's a fucking traitor.
No.
And LonerBox sees that and feels upset about that. I'm not going to be like, I'm
Oh god, he does sound like an older version of SpongeBob. Fuck
I'm so
me.
confused.
That's
as to
so
why
bad
LonerBox
faith that you just said this guy should be imprisoned. That's so bad faith. What the fuck?
is up.
Wait, wrong VOD? No, this is the right VOD. The previous one was the wrong VOD. This is the right VOD.
What I've just said. Now, LonerBox will say this. Because it's like fucks about something that ends up being true. He'll sit there and bemoan and act like the fucking victim over the fact that lefties are upset with him over it. And then
I don't think a single lefty is upset with me over this. They just see an opportunity. That's all that is. That's all that is. I don't think they're upset by it. Especially since this clip, I remember it was me just initially saying I'm going to need more than the word.
Well, I'm not a lefty, and I do think that, like, broadly, when you try to treat, I think you were doing. Joe said it best. I had like a Joe clip a while back. How many streams ago was that? Right? I'll just play the Joe clip. Let me go back to where I have that. It was like a Joe clip where she was talking about how it just feels like you don't really care. If you're going to present this as like they really do have a chance and these strikes are going to work and they will rise up, if you're like propagating that, you actually just kind of don't give a fuck about the Iranian people. You like don't give a fuck enough to look into the situation at all, to look at how unlikely it is that any uprising amongst them will actually affect things and work out, right? You just don't care. And it just feels like really weird that you're going to try to moralize, you're going to try to use the emotional weight from that argument that like you want these people to be free, but they don't have a chance. It's like you see somebody in a cage and you know they can't get out of it. It's impossible for them to get out of it. You're like, no. Just keep stretching on those. Just keep like trying to fight those bars. You're watching them like crack their fingernails. They're in immense pain. You're like, you got it, man. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Like you're actually kind of torturing somebody. It's like up. It's like actually weird what you're doing.
Of the Iranian state, which I still maintain. Of course,
literally, does he even listen? Does this have ears, bro? It's crazy. Yeah, I have a problem saying that. But obviously, the way you said it's going to set people off. When you see a girls' school get bombed, you go, they're fucking liars. It's going to set people off. And I don't think they all just see an opportunity. Yes, they are engaging a lot of the time in motivated reason. They already hate you. They already screwed you, etc., etc., etc. But no, they do see it and get mad. I think they do genuinely see it and get mad at you. Like, people do genuinely like hate you and get mad at you.
Of course, you would do more than their word, like because they do lie. They lie quite habitually, actually. But this whole clip actually even includes me getting more information, like within what, like minutes. Whatever.
When Hassan does this exact same thing to Israel, he'll spend a week talking about it.
Give me one example, you emaciated little like. Give me one example. I'm sorry. What an example of Hassan getting a breaking
See,
news
now
story
you're
about
getting it. Now he's getting it. Now he's thinking with portals. Let's go.
Oh god. Okay, I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. It's too much. Fuck me, dude.